The X-Zone radio and TV show is largely an opinion talk show. All opinions, comments, or statements of fact expressed by Rob McConnell's guests are strictly their own and are not to be construed as those of the X-Zone radio and TV show or in any manner endorsed by Rob McConnell, Relmar McConnell Media Company, Talkstar Radio Network, its affiliated stations, or employees.
All Hit Radio.
Welcome to the X-Zone, a place where fact is fiction and fiction is reality. Now, here's your host, Rob McConnell.
Back, everyone. I was thinking a lot of things happen in Georgia. You've got this guy leaving back on the midnight train for Georgia. Before we played Charlie Daniels and, the devil went down to Georgia. And now Georgia is running out of water. So maybe it's a sign of the times. Talk about Petula Clark. Welcome back to the X-Zone, everyone. My name is Rob McConnell. We're coming to you live and around the world on the Talkstar Radio Network and our fine family of broadcast affiliates across Canada, the United States, Central America, the Caribbean, South America, the Pacific Rim, Asia, and Europe, the rest of the world on TalkStarRadio.com streaming audio. If you'd like to give us a call, our toll-free number is 1-877-528-8255. Now, that's toll-free throughout the U.S., Canada, Alaska, and Hawaii. My email address is xzone@TalkStarRadio.com. On MSN Messenger, TalkStarRadio@hotmail.com. And our website, www.xzoneradio.com. My guest this hour is Frank Longo. He's the gentleman behind Capturing the Light, 30,000 Feet of Proof. And this DVD is just getting nominated left, right, and center. Capturing the Light has been nominated in the 17th Annual International UFO Congress Convention, Film Festival, and EBE Awards. Now, this is the equivalent of the Academy Awards for UFO films, which include network television entries and independent films. Now, just listen to this. Categories of nomination for Capturing the Light: Best UFO Documentary, 2008, Best UFO Footage, Stills or Live, and Best Abductee Contactee Documentary in 2008. And Frank Longo, welcome to the X-Zone.
Hi, Rob. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Frank, congratulations on the nominations for Capturing the Light.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
Now, I was wondering if you could give our listeners an encapsulated version of what the documentary is about.
Oh, okay. It's about this she's 86 now, 86-year-old woman who has, for the past 30-plus years, been filming with her home 8mm camera images in the sky that are just, baffling to many. They've been tested scientifically. She's been tested psychologically, and people are just having a hard time explaining away her documentation of all her encounters that she's had over these past 30 years.
Now, how did you get involved in the project?
It actually started, I heard an interview by author Peter Gatilla, who wrote Dorothy's autobiography, Contact with Beings of Light. I was just really captivated by the sincerity of her story, and I felt compelled to contact him to see if he could put me in contact with Dorothy. I'm a filmmaker, and I was really just intrigued by her story, so I wanted to follow up and see if there was any chance of being able to do her life story. And that's really pretty much how it started. It was through hearing the author speak about her.
All right, stand by. You and I have to take a 2-minute commercial break. Frank Longo is our special guest. And the website, Exonation, is www.capturingthelightdvd.com. That's www.capturingthelightdvd.com. Frank Longo is my guest this hour, and we'll be back on the other side of this 2-minute break here on the X-Zone. Still to come on tonight's show, Cal Korff with Cal's Corner. Who knows what Cal's up to these days? 1-877-528-8255 is toll-free. X-Zone at TalkStarRadio.com is my email address. On MSN Messenger, TalkStarRadio@hotmail.com. And we'll be back on the other side of this break, right here live and around the world from our studios in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada, exclusively on TalkStar.
What we're showing you is to prepare you.
You're seeing things, you're hearing things, they're not normal.
For her to be seeing it as regularly as she did, I found that really hard to rectify.
And if I didn't see it, it's not there. That's all there is to it.
We all thought I was imagining it. So I said, I've got to prove it. And started filming.
You can't even do that. You can't make it up.
Mrs. Izet is presenting us with an entirely different view of UFOs, extraterrestrial visitation, and what it means to mankind.
We're not easily swayed by things. We're really moved. I'm almost getting goosebumps talking about it.
This is hard physical evidence.
Amazing, irrefutable proof.
The smoking gun thing. The more you look at this footage, it does affect you as a human being. Be prepared. You're going to change looking at this stuff.
What I'm experiencing is I'm sharing it. Take it or leave it.
Capturing the Light, 30,000 feet of proof is available at www.capturingthelightdvd.com. Frank Longo is with us. And Frank, how has Capturing the Light changed your life?
Changed my life? Well, like I said earlier, I'm a filmmaker, so from looking at it from that angle, I'll just say, I'm not a part of the UFO community. So I was my interest in doing this documentary really was more from a human interest story. Now after doing it, I realize now how important her footage is, and so to answer your question, it's because of her films and my background as a filmmaker and analyzing her films. I've really actually had to step back and reevaluate, how I think about, this topic. On a grander scheme, I believe in God, and I believe He created this universe, and I just find it hard to believe that He only planted one seed. So I've always, personally just felt definitely life out there. Now, whether or not they were here was another issue, and it wasn't until going through this journey of making this documentary that I really do have to do a step back, because I understand how light works with film, and I've had to reevaluate my thoughts on that, and maybe it might be a good idea to kind of give a bigger picture of what we're talking about with this film, if that's all right. Just
go right ahead, please. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Go right ahead.
Okay. Her films are very multi-layered. I mean, it's more than just lights in the sky. Like I said earlier, she shoots and has been, with an 8mm home camera, because back then they didn't have video cameras. Everybody used 8mm. Now, 8mm runs 18 frames per second. So when she's having an encounter and she's filming these crafts in the sky, you'll always see a burst of light happen while she's filming at real time. But it's not until you get the film back and you stop it on one frame. This is one frame, and out of the 18 frames that make up a second, that you see that burst, and there's no bleed over from the frame prior to the burst, and there's no bleed over of that light onto the frame after that burst, which is physically impossible. So that burst is occurring in 1/18th of a second without bleeding onto the adjoining frame. And within those frames and within that burst, a new image appears. And those range to different images, meaning some of them are streaks of light that go from one side of the frame to the other, or a cacophony of lights streaking around, covering distances that just are impossible in 1/18th of a second. And sometimes you'll see, oddly, like what appears to be different locations. Sometimes you see like a body of water or a landscape, and even sometimes an image that looks quite human and like a picture of there's in the film. There's one particular that kind of blew me away. It looks like a picture of a family. It's really bizarre, and so I think it's physically impossible, and so that's why her films are so compelling. It's just more than just lights in the sky.
All right, in the film, does she actually have footage of UFOs or what we imagine UFOs would look like? Does she have any photos of aliens?
Yes to both. Yes to both. All her films, you'll see multitudes of lights, like light balls in the sky. She says those are like the equivalent of like a car at night, like their headlights. Like you can't see when an oncoming car is coming. You see the headlights, but you can't see the vehicle behind it. So she says those are huge hovering craft, and so when they flash frame, like I said, they show different things at different times. But she does have many stills of physical, craft. Something you would say is looks like a UFO, and yeah, she's even has footage of what appear to be aliens looking back at her out of their craft window. She asked them at one time. She said to come closer because she wanted to see what they look like, and it's really, and it makes the hair stand up on the end of your arms when you see it. But it looks like there's a couple of beings looking out at her out of the craft window.
Why do you think she's able to do this? Or how is she able to do it? Does she communicate with them?
That's really interesting. I think there's a bigger story here with her, although that this is, she began filming 30 plus years ago. She's told me that she's been able to hear and see things prior to that, clairvoyant, if you will. And I think it's something that runs in the family, because she has mentioned her parents and her sisters being able to see things, and since they all kind of did, it was just kind of common knowledge that they did, like they would see ghosts or apparitions or things like that. So I think that they were certainly, clairvoyant. And so even when this started happening, she did, she would tell people, and of course they didn't believe her, and so that's why she began filming in the first place. And I just lost my train of thought. Sorry.
No problem. Now, what part of the country does she live in?
She lives in Canada.
All right, it's a pretty big country. What part of Canada?
Yeah, well, there's people that always are trying to track her down. I'll just say she lives outside of Vancouver, but that's about all.
All right, so she lives in BC.
Yeah.
Okay. And these now the analysis that have been done. Who's analyzed these pictures, and who has said, all right, yeah, these definitely are UFOs?
Well, when she first started out, she first wanted to just prove to her family, because her own family didn't believe her, and so when she started filming, and then friends of the family started talking to neighbors, and then word kind of trickled out that way. She was very protective of her family. She was afraid that they'd be harassed, and but word got out to Dr. J. Allen Hynek. He was your audience probably knows, is probably very familiar with him.
Sure, Project Blue Book.
Yeah, world-renowned physicist or astronomist, and basically, I guess he was the biggest, ufologist out there at that time. Everybody knows about him. He saw some of her footage and was compelled enough to go visit her. And when he saw her footage, it was him that actually said, "This is the real deal." Well, to not go out with it, but to answer your question, to protect his name, he did have several tests done, which one was, he had her see a psychologist, run tests on her, and then he had her camera sent out. He had a contact at the University of Chicago, an engineer, who dismantled the camera to make sure it wasn't a faulty camera issue, and of course the camera checked out that it was fine.
As a filmmaker, did you see any authentication to these claims?
Personally, holding the film in my hand. I mean, that was...
No, I mean, did you see any documentation that J. Allen Hynek actually said that, yes, this is the real thing? Did you see any documentation that...
it's in, I mean, there's documentation in the book that Peter Gatillo wrote.
No, I'm not asking about something that someone... I'm not talking about hearsay. I'm asking you, as a filmmaker who did a documentary, did you actually see any evidence that the claims that are being made were actually substantiated by proof? For example, J. Allen Hynek saying that this is the real thing. I've never heard him actually admitting anywhere that to the existence of UFOs. And the fact that the film was sent or the camera was sent and checked out, the fact that this lady was actually seen by a psychiatrist or a psychologist at the request of J. Allen Hynek. Is there any documented proof of this?
If you're asking me if I saw the psychologist's actual paperwork, no, I haven't. But it's been documented by, I mean, the book that came out when Dr. J. Allen Hynek was still alive, so I'm sure, he would have been sued if it weren't true. But there were, still more tests that were done by Dr. J. Allen Hynek as well, if you want me to continue on that, but it might be a non-issue for you.
Well, a lot of people make a lot of claims, claims. And for example, how many books are out there now and how many DVDs by people who are making the claims that cannot be substantiated? And I think that when this happens, it does more harm than it does good.
I mean, that's interesting. I mean, and that's a valid point. I would just, I would tell you that I'm a filmmaker. I'm not a part of the UFO community, and my interest in the story was from a human interest angle. And to me, it was the story about her having this and claiming to have these occurrences and having the documentation, i.e., her films, to back it up, was the fact that it was continuing for all those years. To me, the interesting part was the fact that she's a grandmother. She has kids, and they're grown up, and they have kids. So how does this affect them in their lives growing up with this? And to me,
how did it affect their lives? That's an excellent point. How did it affect their lives?
Very interesting. Some just will refuse to believe her. And of course others, once the sun started coming in, did believe her. And you see that in my documentary, you family members who didn't believe her. And another interesting psychological study to be had was, if you had seen the film, that, ironically or not so ironically, while I was filming the documentary, interviewing Dorothy's daughter, who had finally, after many years, had a sighting of her own. I was filming...
Let's talk about that when we come back from the news at the bottom of the hour. Frank Longo is our special guest. www.capturingthelightdvd.com. That's www.capturingthelightdvd.com. My name's Rob McConnell. This is the X-Zone. And I'll be back on the other side of this commercial break as we continue live and around the world from our studios in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada, right here on Talkstar.
Here's a B-movie quiz. What big ape movie did Raymond Burr, TV's Perry Mason, and Ironsides monkey around in along with Lee J. Cobb, Ann Bancroft, Lee Marvin, and Cameron Mitchell in an amusement park? Yes, Gorilla at Large, the 1954 color fear flick. This little gem is one of a collection of sci-fi and fantasy films on DVD for just $27.99 offered to X-Zone listeners. You get a big assortment of the good, the bad, and the even worse. For the latter category, there's Pizzadora in Santa Claus Conquers the Martians. The Master of Terror, John Carradine, stars in the incredible petrified world. Like Gladiator movies, kid? Steve Reeves and Red Park flex like fury, and a few Hercules flicks. 50 movies on 12 DVDs. A $300 value if I ever saw one. All yours for $27.99 plus shipping and handling. Get online now to TalkStarRadio.com and shop the online video bookstore and bazaar.
Are you questioning your future in the year 2008 and what lies ahead for you in matters of family, love, finance, employment, and travel? Do you have questions that have been haunting you and now you're seeking guidance and the answer to these questions from those on the other side? If you have said yes, then you need to call Premier Psychics right now. At Premier Psychics, talented, gifted, professional psychics will help you find the answers to the questions that you seek and help you on life's metaphysical journey. Call Premier Psychics now, toll-free at 1-866-803-6593 or visit Premier Psychics online at www.premierpsychics.com. Know today what the future holds for you. Once again, call Premier Psychics toll-free at 1-866-803-6593 or visit Premier Psychics online at www.premierpsychics.com, where the extra E in Premier stands for excellence.
911 emergency.
This is Elijah.
What?
Elijah. You know Elijah?
No, I don't.
Well, they know me down at the police station. Why does that keep beeping like that?
It's on a recording.
Oh, hey, a recording. That's good. I'm being recorded?
Yes, sir.
Hey, that's great. I want everybody to hear about me. Pretty soon I'll be world famous.
That's the truth.
I'm going to Jerusalem pretty soon. God's going to take me his way, a spaceship. UFOs, you better believe it. They're everywhere. Everybody has seen millions of people have seen them all around the world.
Well, that's great.
Yeah, that's right. And God bless the police officers and the scientists and the ordinary people that talk about these UFOs, because they do exist, and I know all about them. I'm a ufologist. I'm the #1 scientist on this planet. I'm an authority on them. I'm a scientist.
Okay.
Have you heard of Albert Einstein?
No, but I'm going to have to go. I got other images.
I can explain it to you. It's formula of relativity.
Well, I don't have time to hear Einstein's theory of relativity.
But it's very simple. E does equal MC squared.
That's right.
Okay, Emmanuel equals from the side coming the second time. It's elimination, my dear Watson. Einstein is a Jew, and I'm a Jew, and very few people in the world understood him. That's right. I'm an engineer, I'm an electrician, a plumber, everything. I can do anything.
Well, that's wonderful.
One of the world's greatest entertainers. Well, I'm worth about $50 million a year.
Elijah, I got to go now.
Okay. God bless you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All Hit Radio.
Welcome to the X Zone, a place where fact is fiction and fiction is reality. Now, here's your host, Rob McConnell.
Don't give up on us, baby. Don't make the wrong seem right. The future isn't just one night. It's written in the moonlight, painted on the stars. We can't change ours. Don't give up on us, baby.
Frank Longo is our guest, Exo Nation. He is the filmmaker who did a rather captivating. That's a unique word for this footage. It's called Capturing the Light, 30,000 Feet of Proof. And first of all, congratulations on all the nominations that your DVD has received, Frank. I know that you put a lot of hard work into it. Where did these UFOs come from that Dorothy has filmed throughout the years?
Well, I'm not a spokesperson for Dorothy, but I can relay what she told me. But to get the best answer, it would always be directly from her.
Sure.
But to answer your question, from many different places, she says that there's just many variations of alien life form, and that some have actually traveled long distances, and that some are here interdimensionally. And so there's kind of a vast races of aliens that have been coming here and visiting us, according to Dorothy.
Now, before we went to the news, we started talking about how these sightings and how this contact that Dorothy has had with aliens and UFOs over the years have affected her family. And you were saying that one member of her family didn't believe her until she herself had a UFO experience.
That's right. Her daughter, Marilyn, and I'm trying to think of the context we were talking about it, but I was interviewing her, recounting that one time, and we were doing the interview where it had happened. Mm-hmm. She was by her kitchen, and like I was saying earlier, ironically or not so ironically, when I got back to Los Angeles and started digitizing the footage, I noticed that throughout Marilyn's entire interview that there was activity outside the window, which was pretty bizarre. I mean, it's very coincidental that I'm doing a documentary on a woman who has been claiming to seeing these things and filming these things, and then lo and behold, it appears that I too have captured something while making the documentary. It's quite amazing.
What did you capture?
It appears, I took first to authenticate what I shot in there, because I can tell you, I didn't do anything, but for anybody listening to hear from a higher source, so to speak, somebody that you could hold in higher regards, I took it to Industrial Light and Magic. It was world-renowned special effects house in Hollywood, and had them analyze the footage, and they said they can unequivocally prove that it was not doctored footage.
Okay, not doctored footage of what, though?
Right, well, they didn't. They just said, they know that I didn't do it. They're not going to say that, it was UFO. It's going to be up to you to decide what it is. What we see in the film, there's a ball of light that kind of dances around outside the window. What's interesting about that is if you look at Dorothy's films, when you see these large balls of light in the sky, there's always one smaller one that she calls a scout, and she follows that with her camera, and then eventually she gets those bursts of light. So when I was interviewing Marilyn, you see this ball of light, and at times it splits and it merges, and wherever in Dorothy's film there's the smaller beacon of light, there's a bigger craft. And so, again, interesting, correlating that to what I caught with that small ball of light, eventually behind Marilyn, there appears to be a larger, I guess you would call it, some would call a mothership. Mm-hmm. It appears to be a mothership.
Now, has Dorothy ever been abducted by these aliens or these visitors from wherever?
Abducted, I don't think is the right term as far as, I understand it. Abducted is against your will.
All right, so has she gone willingly?
Contactee. Yeah, a contactee, right, yes. That's what she says she has, yes.
And what kind of experiences did she have while she was with these entities?
Mostly just, meeting them and seeing what they look like. And this is where, the idea of being so many different types of species comes from. She relays to us. Just some that I'm not too familiar with all the the UFO world, but I do understand that there's different types, and I guess some that she saw, some would call the Nordic types, are like taller, more muscular, blondish type, and then there was some that were smaller. Some I guess we'd call the grays. Some were insect-like, like praying mantis type. Certainly nothing I personally would want to see.
Now, did she go into a ship with these visitors?
She has told me that that she has actually.
Did she bring her camera?
She did, and she's filmed some things that you can see on her site. Minari. I believe it's CA, Minari.ca. There's a lot of stills. I mean, there's just so much footage that I obviously couldn't put it all in my film because would be 15 plus hours. So I try to put in actual film, moving footage, in those bursts of light and their images. So there are other images, and some, it's for me again, being on the outside, I wanted stuff that I could look more concrete to me. Sure. Personally, so some of that is personal choice, but certainly her stuff is available and out there, and in the book that Peter Gatilla wrote, Contact with Beings of Light, and has different images that are in my film.
1-877-528-8255 is toll free throughout the U.S., Canada, Alaska, and Hawaii. We're talking to Frank Longo. He is the filmmaker behind Capturing the Light, 30,000 feet of proof. I understand that some people claim that what Dorothy has is basically a Rosetta Stone of the paranormal. Hello?
Hello, did I lose you?
Yeah, I think so. I understand that some people are referring to Dorothy's footage as the Rosetta Stone of the paranormal.
It's really interesting how when people watch her footage, how they react to it. For some, it is, the quintessential proof of existence of alien life. For some, it's very spiritual to them. So it just depends on it. But it's just fascinating, the reactions that people have when watching her footage, because it is very complex and multi-layered. Mm-hmm. So it means different things to different people, that's for sure.
Now, I've been to her site and I've looked at some of the stills, the clippings of the 8mm film. And, I can see that there certainly is a light tracer in frames. But to say that there's a UFO or a connection to the paranormal, I'm having a hard time understanding where this concept comes from.
Well, I guess you're looking at stills, and so if you watch the documentary, you'll see those stills occurring within filming, real time. And if you've seen it, you've seen the balls of light in the sky, the craft, and then the burst of light. So that you're probably looking at the individual stills that come from those bursts of light. I don't know how. I guess. We should probably just throw it all out on the table. It sounds like you want to kind of push me into some sort of corner.
No, I'm not. No, what I'm trying to do, and this is not the kind of show where I'm going to sit here and say, yeah, wow, geez, isn't that fantastic? It's. I ask questions and I appreciate answers, and if this isn't the kind of interview you want to do, let me know.
Oh no,
I'm not trying to push you into a corner. All I'm doing is I'm asking questions.
I'm totally up for a healthy debate. Absolutely.
That's all I'm trying to do is get answers to questions.
Sure, fair enough. I guess. Well, what I'm trying to get at is that if you would have to believe. Well, there's two ways to look at it. She's either been faking this stuff for 30 years with 8mm footage and technology that wasn't available to be able to do special effects, right? Mm-hmm. Because this is on 8mm film. People today, you would have to have a group of skilled special effect people put together on one project to be able to try to pull off some of the stuff that she's done. So that's one. The two, since family members didn't believe her, I can assure you over 30 years that somebody would have came down in the basement and went, aha, I caught you. I'm
not saying.
If you would have to believe that she was a charlatan and do it, and if not, then maybe we should listen to what she has to say.
No, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that from what I have seen, all right, I'm not saying that any of the films are doctored. I'm not saying that at all, because like you say, it's very hard to doctor an 8mm film. We're not talking about high definition or anything that could be simply digitized like the video recorders that we're using today. I've seen some great work done by kids in high school using CGI software.
Yeah, Haiti UFO.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. You know, so we're all aware of what can be done now by kids at school or at a person who is taking up photography, CGI as a hobby. We're all aware of that.
Right.
What I am saying is, from what I have seen, the lights in the sky, the still shots, I can't see where anybody can say unequivocally that this is a UFO or that these are visitors from other planets. Now, when you tell me that she has given you all these different descriptions of aliens, like she's got about 14 books of aliens crammed into one.
What do you mean 14 books of aliens?
Well, I've been doing this show for 15 years.
Yeah?
And I have never heard anyone have encounters with Nordics, with the reptilians, with the Greys, with the praying mantis people, the insect type. All.
Yeah.
I've never heard of anyone having the entire spectrum.
Really? I'm not even in the UFO. I'm not even in the UFO world, and I've heard many stories. I mean, one of the bigger ones right now is the guy who wrote The Keepers. About Whitley Strieber. I mean, there's just
sensationalism sells in this business.
Right. Well, I mean, unlike them who are just writing the words, I mean, you have the footage to look at. Now it's up to you what you think about it. And again, I'm not saying I didn't do this documentary to prove or disprove whether alien lives exist. I
understand that.
Human interest story, and so it's up to you what you want. You look at the footage, and if it doesn't mean anything to you, then that's fine.
I understand that. But within the UFO genre, there are so many people who are willing to clutch onto any little thing that they cannot understand. And to them, this is the gospel. This is proof of UFOs. This is proof that there's life on the other planets. This is proof that there's interdimensional craft. This is proof that there's over 5,000 different types of alien species. This is proof that when a lady tells you that there's a UFO 5 miles wide over the Empire State Building, my God, it's the truth.
Well, unlike, I would say, I understand what you're saying, and unlike, I think, anybody, I don't think there's anybody out there that has a relationship this long, quote unquote, a relationship this long, ongoing, and being completely aware of it, and two, documenting all of it with 30,000 feet of film. Now, if you have somebody else say that, then yeah, I can understand your comment completely. But she is unique, and I've never heard of anybody, doing this or having this kind of documentation to back up her claims.
Frank, we've got to say so long for now. Thanks very much for joining us. Frank Longo is the gentleman behind this documentary. It's entitled Capturing the Light, www.capturingthelightdvd.com. And if you'd like to take a look at those stills that are boggling me, www.manari.ca. My name's Rob McConnell. This is the X Zone, a place where people dare to believe, but I don't have to buy everything they say. I'll be back on the other side as we continue live and around the world from our studios in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada, right here on Talkstar.
Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom, one of the best shows television ever offered. Now you can travel again with Marlon Perkins to the farthest reaches of the globe and study wild animals in their natural habitats. The Emmy Award-winning Wild Kingdom, now available on DVD. Order online at retrotelevision.com and get 20 full-length episodes for $29.99. You'll see gorillas, elephants, giraffes, zebras, hippos, and more. Also memorable, 3 episodes featuring legendary primate researcher Diana Fossey from Gorillas in the Mist. 20 episodes of Wild Kingdom on DVD for $29.99. Go to retrotelevision.com, or if you forget, log on to www.talkstarradio.com and check out our video store. Save $10 on Wild Kingdom now at retrotelevision.com.
Whether it's the arrival of Planet X in 2012, the Earth's crazy weather cycles, our deadly global warming, Armageddon, UFOs, ETs, terrorism, the critical mass 2008 presidential elections, Dr. Jason Rand talks the talk and walks the walk. Being a twice-nominated Grammy record producer, recording artist, publisher, lecturer, UFO ET researcher and investigator, and best-selling author of The Return of Planet X, Mankind's Ongoing Legacy with a Brown Dwarf Star, Dr. Jason Rand truly does walk the walk and talk the talk. For more information on Dr. Jason Rand or to order The Return of Planet X, visit his website at www.returnofplanet-x.com or call 901-336-9660. And where will you be in the year 2012?
People see us everywhere. They think you really care. But myself I can't deceive. I know it's only make-believe.
Welcome back, everyone. I think it's only make-believe, yeah. We had Frank Longo on a few minutes ago, and he's got a documentary out entitled Capturing the Light, 30,000 Feet of Proof. It's been nominated for... let me see, Best UFO Documentary 2008. Best UFO Footage, Stills or Live. Best Abductee Contactee Documentary 2008. And this has been nominated by the 17th Annual International UFO Congress, Convention, Film Festival, and EBE Awards. Now, Superman, you were listening, and I know that you always take notes in case I ask you later on. Didn't he say that J. Allen Hynek was J. Allen Hynek met with her. J. Allen Hynek sent her to a clinical psychologist. J. Allen Hynek also sent the camera away to be authenticated.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that's correct.
Now, if that was you, let's say you're Dorothy, all right, and you had somebody with the reputation of J. Allen Hynek as a person who basically authenticated or worked with you to examine what you had, wouldn't you put that on your website?
Yes, I believe I would have to.
Okay, her website address is www.manari.ca. That's MANARI.ca. She has a button there for experts. So I figured, all right, let's see. Well, you've got Graham Conway, who is with UFO BC. You've got a clinical psychologist from the University of British Columbia. You have a clinical psychologist who is a paranormal researcher. Mm-hmm. You've got a production designer and art director. You've got somebody who does a show at a planetarium. You've got an author, researcher, and teacher. And then you've got the director of MUFON Canada.
Okay.
No J. Allen Hynek. But she does have a page called Question and Answers, and at the very bottom, she has a picture of her with Dr. J. Allen Hynek. But there's no mention on her website about the fact that J. Allen Hynek did all this. And this is what makes me wonder about the what's going on here in the UFO world. And, I was asking him very simple questions, like I was really, when he was filming the daughter and these dancing lights in the background, and he took the footage to Industrial Light and Magic, and he said they authenticated it, that it hadn't been tampered with. What did they authenticate? Are you trying to put me into a corner? No, I'm trying to ask you a damn question.
Yeah.
What did you get out of the last 45 minutes besides a headache? I know you're speechless. It defies explanation.
Yeah, I think that's kind of what I was trying to get to.
Mm-hmm. And you know what? On her website, she has some still photographs.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sorry, I cannot see where anyone can correlate these with a UFO. And if she was taken aboard a ship, and she did bring her camera, where's the film? Oh, wait a second. She must know Richard Nixon, too, because that part of the film got erased. Oh, Superman, always great working with you. Next up, we have Cal Korff. Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
All right, I better play the bumper, and let's see what Cal's up to these days.
Sounds good.
All right, Superman. Thanks, buddy. Superman is my producer, and he's the gentleman who makes sure that this show stays up on those 3 satellites and around the world on the Talkstar Radio Network. First time working with this guy that he was ever speechless. I'm going to suffer for this on the break. Cal Korff is up next with us here on the X Zone as we continue live and around the world from our studios in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Geez, I'm in Canada, and I've never seen these squiggly lights right here on Talkstar. Don't go away. Maybe I should go outside and look for squiggly lights in the sky and say, hey, there's a UFO. I'll be back. Don't go away.